4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Pads going on for the first time, so there will be some popping going on. And one of the things is, of course, is you always got, it's very difficult. Like everybody sees, like Abdul Carter. I mean, man, he's putting on some moves, man. I'll tell you what. But you got to realize too that there's nothing there that the offensive lineman can grab a hold of. Like they're trying to get hold of the nameplate, right? Right, the plate, right, the chest plate. To try to maybe if you can, good luck, right, get a hold of him. But I mean, he's putting on some. He made, I think it was a Luminor. He spun around him. He was going to get a sack today. I guess it was. Let's see, they were off Saturday, so it must have been Friday. He pushed John Michael Schmitz to the ground. John Michael Schmitz wound up deeper in the pocket than the quarterback was. I don't remember who the quarterback was. Sorry, buddy. I gotta move my legs. Sorry, pal. I moved my legs. Sorry, buddy. My dog lays on my feet. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, pal. I gotta move my legs every now and then. But I forgot who the quarterback was. But I'll tell you what, man, he sent John Michael. I mean, it wasn't like I couldn't talk. It was just like he sent him flying. We're going to talk a little bit more about JMS a little farther down in our program here. It's not very good, but I mean, Abdul, he really looks bad. I mean, everybody talks about him. Carl Banks was also talking about Abdul Carr. He's not the second coming of anybody. So people are like, whoa. It's the second coming of, because he's on the Giant, Lawrence Taylor, or people. Some people are like, well, he came from Penn State. He's the second coming of maybe Micah Parsons, huh? But Carl Banks just tried to remind you that he's the first coming of Abdul Carter, right? But I mean, it's the offensive line. They have nothing to grab a hold of, right? And but one of the things that they were talking about on Big Blue Kickoff Live was also the competition, the offensive line versus the defensive line. Because they're gonna have, there'll be some competition going on because you got Andrew Thomas, right? He's going to be the left tackle, but he's on PUP, right? So we're going to see who's going to take his spot. You got a open competition at right guard, right? That's going to be fun. And then I can't say they're going to give the right tackle spot to Illuminor, right? Because you got Marcus Bowe. Let's see what he can do, right? I'll tell you what, if we got to slide Bowe, because you hear, right, that possibly Bowe might have to be a guard, possibly at the next level, meaning the NFL. If we got to slide him in, we got a plethora of guards. It'd be nice to see if maybe he can stay outside at tackle, right? So I mean, you don't want to say Luminor is given that position either. So we got some position battles up for grabs. And of course, as I said, we're going to be talking about John Michael Schmitz here too. It's year 3, right? You can have the smarts, you can have the leadership qualities, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You can have everything. But if you can't perform on the field, I mean, once again, second round, you draft the center in the second round, should be pretty good. Center in the second, I mean, of course, as long as you hit on your pick, of course. But if you draft a center in the second round, you pick them up, wind them up, and say, "We'll see you in 10 years, brother." Right? That's the center position. There's the ball. we'll see you in 10 years, right? Go get him, Tiger. That's why it's so important to hit on these picks, especially those early ones, because what are we going to be doing? If JMS looking for another center. Anyway, so we had day 3, Friday. So there was this. That was the one that was the I think there was the Wan'Dale Robinson, Brian Burns scare when they ran into each other. They held Hyatt out because he was cramping, apparently. So, of course, Friday was a hot freaking day. I couldn't even, fathom. I mean, they weren't even hitting, with full pads on or anything like that. I mean, it was horrible outside. I mean, I was outside, and I was just trimming some trees and all that and everything. I was out there for like half an hour. I'm like, I'm dying. I mean, I got to get in. I mean, I couldn't imagine running around on the field. At least they do it in the morning. When I was out there trimming the trees and all that, it was in the afternoon, high noon, shall we say. But, it was hot on Friday. All right. They got Brian Daboll has been eager to have the players work in pads, but according to CBA guidelines, teams cannot do so until they have been acclimated to camp for 5 days. So you have to 5 days. It was funny, I mean, once again, one of the reasons why I stopped football, I wasn't interested in it or not. It just became less interested in me. Because I'm like, if I gave it my absolute all, which you always should, I certainly would have been better, without question. It just after a while, it just, I don't know. I just, it wasn't quite as fun because I'm like, dude, you're not really that good. As I said, if I gave it my, I certainly would have been better. But I mean, I was not that good. So I lost interest in it. So I'm not trying to say, hey, back in the day, I was the man. No. But the one thing was, I moved to Washington Township, South Jersey here, 1977. So in 1978 at Washington Township High School, I was a freshman, right? And I don't think we did a freshman year, but when I became a sophomore, I played sophomore my junior. I didn't play my senior year, but sophomore and junior, the first day, and for the first 2 weeks. I hear this stuff about the CBA and you can't do this and you can't do that, and I'm like, why? These guys make $75 trillion a year. They're in tip-top shape, blah, 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 blah. And they can't start hitting until they've been acclimated to what? You can't hit what? High school. When I was a sophomore. So that would have been 1979, I guess it was, the 79-80 school season. So 1979, August, right? So we didn't, so we're not starting in July, but in August, we did 3 days for 2 weeks. It was the 2 weeks before school started. Was it Labor Day? What is it? Labor Day? Memorial? Yeah, Labor Day weekend was you're if you made it alive to Labor Day, you made the team. Right? There was no cuts. You cut yourself, right? But for 2 weeks, we had 3. I think we had maybe Sundays were off. But other than that, for 2 weeks, 13 out of those 14 days, whatever it was, we had 3 days. I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I rode my bike to school so I could be there so I left at 7:50, whatever it was. So I get to school by 8 o'clock. Park my bike. 8 o'clock, I guess 9 o'clock, we were on the field from 9 to 11:30. And we went inside for maybe about an hour. You had lunch. You went outside around 12:30. So from 12:30 to 3, we had practice. Got on my bike, rode home on my bike, took a shower, took a nap, ate, and we had to be back by like 6 o'clock. Because it's in August, it still stays light out to like 8:30. So I rode my bike back to the school, and by 6 o'clock, and we had like another 2.5 hour practice, full pads, beating the crap out of each other for 2 weeks. And basically, if you some guys would just, it's like, this, I ain't doing this. You kidding me? You know what I mean? So a lot of guys, we might start out with like 80 guys, 90 guys. Well, 20 or 30 would just drop by the wayside, you know what I mean? Just not come back. But I mean, I'm like, now to be fair, that was in August. Okay. These guys, this is July. So got to give them, right? Got to give them some credit, right? It's not like they would, I'm not saying I was in July, we were, practicing all, but we started off just hitting 3 practices a day for 2 weeks. I mean, these guys, they're out there for like 2, even when they do have contact, it's for like 2 hours. We literally, it was, I guess, 6, 7 hours, 8 hours of practice a day for 2 weeks. Holy cow. Man, they were tough. Boy, they were tough. I tell you what, when the season was over, I was in pretty good shape. I was in really good shape. I still stunk as a football player, but I was in pretty good shape. But the 5-day period will end this weekend with the Giants donning the pads for the first time starting Monday. Cool. Current CBA limits the number of padded practices between the veteran reporting date and the final day of preseason training camp to 16. Most teams tend to take full advantage of the allotment. Still, in some cases, teams might scale back due to injuries or, in the head coach's opinion, if the team is already getting quality work and the full allotment of pads isn't necessary. Daboll hasn't said what his plans are, as he's likely to take each day as it comes. But given how ill-prepared the Giants looked last year to start the season, it probably wouldn't hurt for players to take full advantage of their padded practices as much as possible. So on Friday, Jalen Hyatt was held out of practice. He had a hamstring strain last month. He was held out of Friday's practice due to some tightness and cramping he experienced on Thursday. Let's hope it's just like it was just maybe cramping, but I mean, it got to look like this. Everybody, you got to take advantage of what you can get, right? I mean, if Hyatt keeps continuing to have problems with hamstring or cramping or whatever, and Bryce Ford Wheaton's season's over, that opens the door to maybe 1 or 2 of those wide receiver spots. I'll have to wait and see. And of course, Friday we're talking about dealing with the heat, with temperatures soaring well into the 90s. And let's forget about this too. When they take the temperature and they say it's 90, that's in the shade. That's not in the sun. So if it's 95 in the shade, Lord knows what it is in the sun. And then you throw like the heat index in there, the humidity and all that stuff. I mean, it's brutal. Head coach Brian Daboll ensured that players received an extra 3-minute water break about midway through practice to catch their breath and rehydrate, which is extremely important. Speaking of the heat, so far there have been no training camp skirmishes to speak of. Yet. Which has been impressive. Of course, let's see if that discipline continues once the pads go on and there's another hot kind of day. So, of course, then they talk about the brief injury scare. I mean, the one thing is you talk about also the injury scare, which was not cool, but you're talking here was that Brian Burns, obviously he was the one with the injury scare, him and Wan'Dale Robinson, but they said like Burns, he's just like running down the field, keeping up with the wide receiver. I mean, just crazy. I know Burnsy. I think he's the one that said he always likes going forward. So, I mean, that's what he likes to do. That's what he wants to do and all. But he, I guess, doesn't mind every now and then dropping into coverage. But I mean, this is something that Bowens, he's got his work cut out for him. Sometimes, let us pray. Hopefully, injuries don't come into the come into account here, right? But if we have the full allotment, if we're allowed to have the full allotment of our guys, right? I mean, with Sexy and Kayvon and Burnsy and Golston and Dual Carter, if we're allowed to make it to the season with all those guys, right? Bowen's got his work cut out for him. How to get as many of those guys on the field at the same time. And and of course, what you can't do, you can't put Burns over here, Kayvon over here, Dexter in the middle, and somebody else here, and just same play, same guys. Burnsy's rushing, Kayvon's rushing, Dexter, this guy's right. You can't. You got to mix it up, right? Burnsy can be over here. That's cool, but now Burns got to drop in coverage. So every now, you just can't walk up the line of scrimmage. Okay, Burns is coming from over here. Okay, they might do a twist or something or whatever. But these four guys are on the line of scrimmage. They're coming at me. Got it. Okay, write it down. Okay, we got it. Okay, can't do that. Right. So Bowen's, he's got to work out for him. So it's not only so much that it's getting the guys on the field, getting them doing different things, but also getting them to do different things efficiently. Right? Brian, you just cover this guy. What if he can't do that? So he's got to put guys in position to be successful, right? And we want these guys on the field. It can't be like, well, we can't put Abdul Carter on the field too much because we got Kayvon, we got Burns, so we got keep Carter on the sideline about half the game. No, you better get him on the, of course. Micah McFadden's, I'm sure his snap count is going to take a hit, but you want him on the field too, right? So, and of course, then you got guys that are going to be on the field. I mean, a Karake, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be on the field. For luck, maybe every snap. So, but it was a hold your breath moment during Friday's practice. One of the team drills when outside linebacker Brian Burns collided down the field with receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. Both were able to get up and walk off, but both went with trainers to be checked out. So there was an Andrew Thomas sighting on Friday. For the first time since the end of last season, Giants left tackle Andrew Thomas was spotted on the field. Ooh. Thomas, who is currently on the PUP list, went through the stretching period, a sight that sparked hope that he might be activated sooner rather than later. Giants are taking every ounce of caution with their left tackle to ensure his surgically repaired foot is ready to go by week 1, and that likely means holding Thomas out of the first couple of weeks of training camp and all preseason games. And then the offensive line. So it's still rather early in training camp as teams aren't yet in full pads. However, a very early concern. We're going to talk about this a little bit earlier, but also, the Carter really looking good. He's making some offensive linemen look pretty bad. But once again, the pads are not on, and the offensive line, there ain't nothing really for them to grab a hold of. So it's tough. It's tough for the offensive line, but things are going to change starting tomorrow. Right? All right. And we got, let's see here. And of course, then they talk about Evan Neal, right? Seeing him on the field as well, too. And and the thing was about with Friday's practice, what I understand, there was obviously there was the good and the bad. There was the good offense, and there was some good plays on defense as well. Though you don't want it all one-sided. You don't want it where the offense just keeps scoring point after point after point. It's like, where's the defense at? You don't want defense making all these interceptions, and you're like, where's our offense at? You know what I mean? So you gotta have that happy medium. But practice today. All right. This is from where we got this from Giants Wire. I got 6 takeaways from day 4. Wilson is opening up the offense. Now, I'll tell you what, you're seeing a lot of nice, deep balls from Wilson. Now, I'm sorry for bringing his name up, but Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, right? I mean, used to have that nice little touch, right? Just haven't had that. right? So Russell Wilson, his forte, right? His deep ball. He had a nice one to Slayton. Slayton made a nice catch of a deep ball. We're going there down the left sideline. Slade made a nice catch, and he wound up going out of bounds. So, Russell Wilson, he might lose a little speed, he might lose a little this or a little that or whatever, but the touch on the ball, he's got that. He's got that. So that's one thing you have to make sure. You got to call. You just can't. We're just going to drop back and throw 30 deep balls. You can't do that. You got to take your shots. But look for some deep balls, and if the offensive line can hold up, Russell Wilson certainly the man that delivers some deep balls. So that it is so important to be able to get. I can't remember if it's a 15 or 20-yard play. I mean, if you get like a 15 or 20-yard play on a drive, exponentially your chances of scoring. I can't remember if it was just scoring a field goal or a touchdown or just a touchdown, but they go up immensely. If you got like a 15 or 20-yard play, it's so tough. All right, we're gonna pick up 4 yards on a run, then we're gonna hit a little screen pass, we'll get 3 yards, and then we're gonna run a little sweep or something. We'll pick up another 3 yards, 10 yards first down. Then what we're gonna do? We're gonna drop back. We're gonna hit somebody's gonna go out and run. We get about 7 yards on an out pad. We'll hit him there. Then we'll run one up the middle for 2 yards, and our quarterback sneak it for another yard, 10 yards, first down. We're going to do that all week. No, you're not. You know what I mean? So it's so important to get those big plays in there. And, what better to get a nice big play than right? Now we got the animals to do that. We got Hyatt, who's got speed. We got Slayton, who's got speed, and you got the dog. You got Mr. Neighbors. So it says Wilson is opening up the offense. The Giants have been one of the NFL's least potent offenses the past 2 seasons. They signed veteran, obviously Russell Wilson, the NFL's most proficient deep thrower last year, to get their passing game back on track. It looks as if he's doing that after just 1 week. Wilson is going up top to all of his receivers these days, and his moon ball has never looked better. I mean, that's not that I would know, right? Because but it's kind of like, I guess, like riding a bike. You pop back on. I mean, right? You just warm the arm up, and you get that deep ball going, right? That's not something he's gonna lose overnight, right? If he could throw a deep ball last year, he can certainly throw another deep ball good this year. The thing is, we got to be able to protect the guy, right? They say here he looks 25 again. Not to make this all about Russell Wilson, but he appears to be just what this sagging Giants offense needs. Not only is he re-energizing the passing game, but the 36-year-old is making plays with his legs too. Cool. Holland the Pirate. That's what you want to hear. That's what we got the guy for. Cool. Wilson didn't have his way with the Giants secondary all day. They got their shots in as well. On this one play, slot cornerback Drew Phillips deflects a Wilson pass into the hands of safety Javon Holland, who returns it for a touchdown. The Giants' goal on defense this year is to focus on ball hawking. So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, that they have that pirate chest, right? Which Bowen implemented or he brought this chest in. So it'll be interesting to see as the season, I guess, goes along. Every time the Giants either recover a fumble or pick a pass off or whatever, I think the ball is going to go in that chest. I don't know how many balls the chest can hold, but they're supposed to have a pirate chest on the sideline. Scatterbo is gaining in popularity. It's going to be interesting because, Tyrone Tracy is a very good athlete. Very good athlete. And you saw last year, he can take it to the house. Now, I'm not saying he's like one of those, just give him a hole and he's gone. But he took a couple long distance, right? And not only that, but he was a wide receiver, so he can catch the ball too. But so we have two. I'm not saying they're Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying they're Jim Brown. Right. But two very good athletic running backs. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. It could be a nice little battle going on there for. I mean, I presume, as long as everybody's healthy, of course, that week one rolls around, that Tracy will be the man in the backfield. At least, the first series of downs, right? But it'd be interesting to see once again if everybody can stay healthy. How they use the running backs going forward. Because let's not forget, right? We had Motor Singletary started the season last year, and then was it week 5? I think it was. Tyrone Tracy Jr. was there, and he never looked back. It can be interesting because he's gaining some traction. He's a tough mofo. He's going to bring an attitude to the Giants, and you want the attitude on the field, not on the sideline. So that's going to be interesting, very interesting, especially when like the preseason. And I said I really expect Tracy week 1, line it up, first play of the game and all that, whatever. First play that the Giants have, Wilson's under center, Tracy's right behind him. Fully anticipate that, but be interesting to see as the season goes along, who winds up being running back number 1. But we have, once again, I'm not saying these guys they're just as good as Saquon. I'm not saying they're Barry Sanders, nothing like that, but we have two very good running backs, good running backs, but they both can catch the ball, both good with their hands. All right. Looking for a player to root for this season? Look no further than rookie running back Cam Scatterbo. He is a high-energy player who's already making his mark with the Giants as both a rusher and a receiver. Yeah, he's taken to the fans. There was one play that I saw. He was given the ball. Now, I don't know where we're supposed to be run, but he was given the ball. He ran up close, maybe kind of heading toward the line of scrimmage, and then he just broke it to the left. Got to the outside, got at least 10 yards down the field, and then they pushed him out of. There's no contact, or they don't. So he's not like lowering his shoulder into one of our cornerbacks or safeties or something like that. So he just kind of ran out of bounds, but he got like probably damn near 10 yards down the field before anybody touched him. And quite possibly, if this was a regular season game, he may not have ran out of bounds. He might have ran into somebody. So, Abdul Carter is a menace. First full padded practice isn't until Monday, so we won't know exactly how good Abdul Carter is. Now, one of the things that they were talking about is, obviously right now, of course, he looks good, because he goes in there and he does his spins and whatever, all that stuff and everything. Is really, you can't grab hold of him, right? It's tough. There's nothing, but it'd be interesting to see, like, with the running game, right? If he's got to, like, fill a hole, okay? And he's got a guard, say he's off ball, right? Middle linebacker, whatever you want to call him, right? And as a guard going to the second level to take him on, right? If the guard can latch a hold of him, can he break free? Can he make the tackle? It's going to be interesting to see, right? Because there's really nothing to grab a hold of now. So, but he's going to be fun. He's going to be fun. And of course, one guy can make everybody else a lot better, right? So far, he's been blowing by oh, man. So far, he's been blown by everyone. If he continues to do that when the hitting starts, though, the Giants have a monster in their midst. So, this is one of those things that, it was like, when the Giants, what the heck were they? I forgot what they were in '80, but I mean, they were so horrible that they got to pick second in 1981, and of course they got Lawrence Taylor, right? I mean, we only won 6 games, right, in 2023. Well, as our reward, now you have to hit on it. It's just not, oh, we got the 6th pick. Okay, well, we're a better team. No, you got to hit on the mofo, right? Well, as our reward, we didn't hit on it. That freaking monster that's a straight up grand slam, Malik. We got the dog, right? I don't even know what that freaking guy's going to want. He's going to earn it. He's going to, whatever he gets paid, he's going to earn it. But I couldn't imagine. Easily 40, easily. Well, obviously we're talking years down the road, but we had a painful season in 2023, but our reward was Malik Neighbors. We got ourselves a dog. Now, if we can ever get another dog on the other side, we're on to something. But then last season, oh my God! I mean, you go from 2-3 to 3-14. Right, you lose. Well, I mean, 1 out of 12 games. You win 1 out of the final 12 games. Are you kidding me? We had to go through. But as our reward, we got Abdul Carter. Right, so let's not forget. We got Sexy Dexy, we got Brian Burns, we got Kayvon, we got Carter. So we have been rewarded, right? All right, where are we at here? Dart's best day. We're going to talk about Dart in a little bit here. Jackson Dart had a nice touch to Bo Collins. We're going to talk about Bo Collins in a little bit here too. He's had a couple of nice throws today like this. Looks a lot more comfortable today. All right. It was the same thing. It was pretty much, let's say, offensive wise, defensive wise, there was a little bit of good and bad with everything, But as I said, that's what you want. You don't want it all offense. You don't want it all good for the defense.